Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you. My name is Cassie, and on this channel, we talk all things of healing, self-love, and self-care, and of course, becoming your dream woman. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about if you truly want to change your life, then you need to change your identity. Yes. So if you're trying to lose weight or get a new job or, attract a healthy relationship and you keep starting and stopping, that's not because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because you are trying to add behaviors to the old you instead of shifting your identity into becoming a new version of you. And here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. You cannot sustain a life that your identity hasn't caught up to. So many people think change is all about doing more discipline, adding more routines, having more motivation, but real long-lasting change doesn't come from forcing behaviors. It comes from becoming the person who naturally lives that life. So today we are going to talk about why identity is the real key to transformation. Why are people getting results but unable to keep them? And how to actually change who you are at the core without burning out or faking the confidence. So most people try to change their lives like this. I'll eat better. I'll work out harder. I'll show up more confident. I'll act like I'm my highest self. But here's the issue. If you don't change your identity, your nervous system will always pull you back to what feels familiar. So if feeling familiar is that you struggle with consistency, that you used to use a food to cope, or that you used to tell yourself, or you still do tell yourself, right, that you are not someone who actually enjoys taking care of their body. So if you are still in that energy, eventually you're going to go back to eating that way. You're going to stop working out, not because you failed, but because your identity never changed. And let's use this relationship as an example as well. You end up attracting the love that you've been praying for. You're showing up grounded, confident, emotionally available. Everything's going great. But once that relationship feels secure, you stop doing the things that actually made you magnetic. You stop regulating your nervous system. You abandon your boundaries and you stop honoring yourself. Why? Well, because you were performing an identity, but not embodying it. Essentially, that mask will fall. When somebody is attracted to a version of you that isn't integrated, they feel that shift. You don't get what you want. You get what you are ready to sustain. And sustainability comes from identity. And identity is based on your self-concept, your emotional baseline, and what feels normal to your body. So if your nervous system still identifies with survival mode, chaos, or even inconsistency, peace and stability are going to feel boring and unsafe. And so what is identity? Identity isn't about affirmations or aesthetics or even pretending to be confident. Now, I'm not saying those things aren't going to help you become that new version of you, because they will, but that's not all what identity is. Identity is actually repeated emotional states, repeated choices that you make daily that are going to help you get to this new version of you, and to have repeated self-respect. So you don't become her by forcing new habits. You become her when your body believes, this is who I am now. And people don't revert back because they don't want change. They revert because stress reveals identity gaps. Under pressure, you don't rise to your goals. You end up falling back to what your identity was. That's why trauma healing matters. Nervous system regulation is key, and self-worth must be embodied, not intellectualized. So if your system still believes love equals abandonment, success equals burnouts, or health equals restriction, you're going to sabotage yourself without even realizing it. So here are some things that I want you to do. Instead of, saying, what should I do? Start asking yourself, who does this version of me believe herself to be? What feels normal to her? And what would she never tolerate again? And number 2 is changing your relationship with yourself. Before the weight loss, you become somebody who actually honors her body. Before that love comes in, you become someone who feels safe with receiving. And before success, you become someone who accepts consistency. And number 3 is anchoring your identity to that new behavior, but not based on motivation, right? Because motivation fades, identity doesn't. So instead of saying, I am trying to work out, you're going to shift the thoughts to, I'm someone who moves my body because that's who I am now. Identity isn't an easy thing to do, but with certain practices, it makes it a lot easier. So ask yourself every day, what choice reinforces who I'm becoming today? Where am I abandoning myself? And what would the future me thank me for today? Small choices compound, and that's how identity ends up locking in. So if you only change your habits, you're always going to feel like you are holding your life together by straws, right? It's not going to feel very secure. But when you change your identity, that effort drops. You don't chase consistency. You don't force the confidence. And you don't fear losing yourself or what you've built. Because this isn't something that you're just doing anymore. This is actually who you are. So if this resonated with you, it's probably because you're not meant to do more. You're actually meant to become different. And becoming different doesn't happen overnight. It happens through safety, having self-trust, and repeated embodiment practices daily. And if you're ready to stop starting over and actually start working on a life that you desire, send me an email at sayyes2healing1111@gmail.com. I would love to work with you and help you become your best self through these identity practices, because I had to do these same things myself. So if you're looking for support and an accountability partner, I would love to help you. So I will see you in the next one. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.